Okay, we're live. Mr. Mayor, the meeting's yours.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the regular scheduled city council meeting on Tuesday, November 24th, 2020. It's a virtual Zoom meeting. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. Madam Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mayor Beagle,
I'm here.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Present.
Councilmember Behrman,
Here.
Councilmember Gotchel,
Here.
Councilmember Grenlin Fox,
Here.
Councilmember Sharp,
Present.
Councilmember Smiley,
Here.
quorum present.
Thank you. Changes or additions to the agenda tonight? City Manager, do you have any?
Mayor, I have no changes or additions.
Any from the council? All right, seeing none. First item of business up tonight is the approval of minutes, as we just have one set of minutes to approve tonight. It's from the regular city council meeting of November 10th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? Councilmember Sharp?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, in council comments, it says I thanked the DPW for coming back to my house to pick up leaves. I thank them in general for coming back for a second time. I'd like to say come back to my neighborhood or making a second pass. There's no special treatment there for my house. So if that could be corrected, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
I'm sure we can do that. Anybody else? All right, seeing now we have no correspondence tonight. So it's the first call to the public. I'll read the rules to the call to the public. They're as follows. The public shall address the council during the call to the public, which shall be included on the agenda immediately after correspondence and again immediately after new business. The first call to the public immediately after correspondence shall be limited to agenda items only. A person shall not address the council in excess of 5 minutes unless time is extended by a majority vote of the council present. Persons wishing to address the council shall identify themselves and their place of residence and shall state their reasoning for addressing the council. All comments by the public shall be made directly to the council. And since this is a Zoom meeting, if you are a member of the audience and you wish to participate, please press *9 and we will call on you. Do we have anybody for the first call to the public?
No one has their hand raised yet. Let's just give it a moment. Press *9 on your phone if you'd like to address the council. Press *9.
Mr. Mayor, did we need to approve the minutes?
Oh, yes, we do. Thank you. Can we get a roll call vote for the approval of the minutes, please?
Councilmember Sharp,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Aye.
Mayor Beagle,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Aye.
Councilmember Behrman,
Yes.
Councilmember Gotchel,
Yes.
Councilmember Grenlin Fox,
Yes.
7 yes. I'm sorry
you.
about that.
Nope, that's my fault. Thank you, Councilmember Sharp, on correcting that. And we'll go back to the call to the public. Was there anybody on the first call to the public?
No one has their hand raised at this point.
Very good. We'll close with the first call to the public and move on to city manager's report. We have the departmental reports of October 2020. Any questions? Deputy Mayor Resnick?
Yeah, two small questions. Number one, on the construction report, it talks about the concrete demolition at the Ford plant. I had brought up 2 weeks ago the issue with the asphalt being busted up and then piled up near the one northern entrance by Wixom Road. Any update on when that's going to be moved out, Tim?
So we have checked on that, and they're going to utilize that asphalt on site. So we had thought that they were going to move it out and repurpose it and then bring it back as asphalt. And now they're going to use it just as base material underlayment for the asphalt that will come in later. So they are moving a little bit of it around, just leveling the areas, but all the material that's on site is intended to remain on site at this time. So I know it's a little closer to the road than we would have liked, but they don't want to mix materials either, because some of it is concrete, some of it's asphalt, and it's stored there as asphalt millings, and we just want that in the parking lot areas, so for base material. So we hope that it'll be leveled out within the next few months, and it will be prepared for construction later in the year.
Okay, yeah, and the concern was when we had the high winds and those gusts, you had debris blowing onto Wixom Road, so.
We'll address that separately. I wasn't aware of that problem. That's a good point.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question on the water and sewer report, page 11, under the fat, soil, and greases. Once again, there's a comment there that the lab results were lost for stingers and all. I get that, so it was retaken. But the Tubby's, Ponchos, and Duncan, it says they're trying to contact the owner. Did it change ownership recently? That repeat offender for a long, long time.
Yes, I have not been in contact with Ruben on those specifics for Tubby's, and but we had talked with them, and they had resampled some of those areas. It's a quarterly thing that they are doing, and the management changes, and we're trying to work with the people that are actually on that site, not the owners themselves. So management changes significantly, on smaller restaurants.
Need to put a little more teeth into some of this. You have repeat offenders, over years, right? Not just over quarters, but over years. So.
Yep. We are. We're working on that program.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep, that was my concern too on that, is how we didn't know who management was on that building and how we're gonna proceed with, so, thank you. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. We have a consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda are considered routine by the city council, will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the items will be removed from the consent agenda and added to the regular agenda at the end of unfinished or new business. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Support.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Mayor Beagle,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Yes.
Councilmember Behrman,
Yes.
Councilmember Gotchall,
Yes.
Councilmember Grenlin Fox,
Yes.
Councilmember Sharp,
Aye.
7 yes.
Thank you. We have no unfinished business tonight, so we'll move on to the first item under new business, which is a recommendation to utilize the My Deal bid process and authorize the purchase of replacement access points for City Hall and the Fire Department from CDW/G of Vernon Hill, Illinois, for $3,284.94 from City Network account number 101-228-956.285. Do I have a motion?
Move
So
to
moved.
approve.
Support.
Thank you. I see Mr. Blackburn is on tonight. Welcome, Mr. Blackburn. Would you like to give us some information on this, please?
Oh, sure, I'd be happy to. So throughout the City Hall, the Community Center, Fire Department, and DPW, we installed a wireless network system about 4 years ago. And this is an update to that system. So after these access points are installed, they'll replace the aging older access points, and then we'll have the same model and manufacturer throughout the city. This will allow us to manage the system easier. It'll give us a single screen to be able to look at the health of the system, and then also be able to do maintenance from that single screen. So that's a quick synopsis of what these access points.
Very good. Does anybody have any questions? Councilmember Smiley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hi, Mr. Blackburn. This is kind of unrelated, but it occurred to me, with this upgrade, do we for the employees that are working at home, I think they are at times working at home, or at least we plan to long term have that ability. Do we have like a VPN set up for them to be able to securely and safely do whatever they got to do from home?
Yes. As a matter of fact, that's been a topic of quite a bit of discussion over the last month. Not only do we have a VPN connection, we've got a very secure process for allowing them to come into the city network and then to be able to manage the resources they have access to. We're going to institute an additional layer to that in the next month or so called multi-factor authentication. And what the multi-factor authentication will allow us to do is to have a more secure remote access for the staff that have the ability to work from home. If you're not familiar with multi-factor authentication, it takes something that like your username and password, and then adds something that you have to be able to connect into the network. So right now, if you're doing banking online, chances are when you log into your bank account, it sends you a text message. And then you take that code from your phone and then enter it into your computer to be able to access your bank account. Now, you wouldn't be able to access your bank account if you didn't have your phone. So it takes something your username and password, add something that you have, your cell phone. So you need to have all three of those items to be able to authenticate to the city network. So that's a little background about how we're setting this up for remote users. We're also making additional laptops available to the remote users. And then we also made a recent change in optimizing the core financial system so it works a little bit better for remote users, simply because it's designed to be an on-premise system. So we've optimized that so it works well across the VPN.
Perfect. Somehow I knew you'd be on it, but
Thanks,
thought I'd check. Thanks.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, I've got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation to utilize the My Deal bid process and authorize the purchase of replacement access points for City Hall and the Fire Department from CDW/G of Vernon Hill, Illinois for $3,284.94 from City Network account number 101-228-956.285. Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Beagle,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Aye.
Councilmember Behrman,
Yes.
Councilmember Gotchall,
Yes.
Councilmember Grenlin Fox,
yes,
Councilmember Sharp,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Blackburn.
You're very welcome.
All right, new business number 2 is a request for authorization to participate with the Michigan Intergovernmental Trade Network, or MITN, to sell surplus city vehicles and miscellaneous equipment by auction and designate Tim Sigma as the authorized agent for the sale of this property. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
support,
As we all know, this is a routine kind of thing when we get new equipment in. We authorize Mr. Sigma to authorize and oversee the auction of this equipment. We have 2 pieces of equipment on here that we're going to put up on auction. Do we have any questions for Tim? Tim, what do you think this will bring in? I know it's minimum value, but what do you think we'll get?
Last,
Tell it.
Yeah, it's hard telling. We try and put it out just before the winter season like this, and we get the best value. The last dump truck that we sold was over $32,000 that we got for it. So
Okay.
we're hoping that that'll show through on this one as well.
Very good. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yep.
Anybody else? Any questions? All right, seeing none, I've got a motion and a second to approve the request for authorization to participate with the Michigan Intergovernmental Trade Network, or MITN, to sell surplus city vehicles and miscellaneous equipment by auction and designate Tim Sigma as the authorized agent for the sale of this property. Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Resnick. Councilmember Behrman,
Yes.
Councilmember Gotchall,
Yes.
Councilmember Grenlund Fox,
yes,
Councilmember Sharp,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Mayor Beagle,
Yes,
7 yes.
thank you. New business number 3 is a recommendation to utilize the Oakland County Cooperative Purchasing Program bid process and authorize the purchase of a TP 5300 live scan fingerprinting appliance from IDEMA Identity and Security USA LLC of Anaheim, California for $13,717 from live scan cost sharing account number 411-301-971.370. Do I have a motion?
So move.
move to approve. Support,
You. Public Safety Director Moore.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, members of council. As you're probably aware, when the police officers make an arrest, long gone are the days of getting ink all over their fingers to capture the ridge detail from their fingerprints, from their palms, and from the edges of their palms. Those images are now captured digitally. The existing live scan system, and that's what the system is informally referred to as live scan, that digital processing appliance. Our existing live scan is approximately 10 to 12 years old. It's currently using the old Windows operating system. And with Windows 10, the county has been telling us for 2 fiscal years now, start budgeting for a new live scan machine because with a new operating system, it's that the old system is not going to be supported anymore. So we did budget for this in our capital improvement plan, and the county went out to bid on this, and IDEMA, Identity and Security, was the successful bidder in the RFP, and I'm requesting the ability to purchase this item and have it installed to replace the old one.
Very good. Any questions? Deputy Mayor Resnick?
Thank you. Public Safety Director Moore. Does this system and the database tie into the national system as well?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay.
This particular appliance has to meet certain specifications for the FBI for the AFIS system, and AFIS stands for Automated Fingerprint Identification System. Yes, it does tie into the national as well as the state system through the Michigan State Police. So having said that, a logical question is there any market for the old system for our existing equipment? And I would say no, that there's not, because these systems do have to meet the rigid FBI standards. There would be no market for the old equipment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Councilmember Sharp?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Director Moore, I support this. For my education, how many arrests do we make a year where we have to fingerprint individuals? Approximately.
Yeah, I don't have those numbers in front of me. If I had to estimate, I would say the officers are probably, well, not only our police officers, but Wolverine Lake, Walled Lake, and occasionally some other jurisdictions, Milford Police Department, for example, will come to our station and they'll utilize our AFIS system. So if you're speaking strictly Wixom, I would say we're probably making a custodial arrest perhaps every other day that requires the capturing of the 10 fingerprints, the palm, and the edge of the palm. But as I said, there are other agencies that use that live scan system as well.
And so it's getting a fair amount of use,
Yes, sir, it does.
unfortunately.
Yes, and this is what the device
Yeah.
essentially looks like.
Appreciated having the pictures in the deck. It's very useful.
It's a desktop appliance, and essentially you lay your fingers, palms, and the edge of your palm on the glass, and that's what digitally captures the images.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilmember Berman.
Unrelated, I mean, I support the purchase of this, but do the other municipalities compensate us for I mean, I know they compensate us for a store or lodging their prisoners and feeding them. I see that, but do we get compensated for the fingerprinting, or is that part of it, just part of that?
It's part of that, of the contracts that we have.
Okay.
That's an element, using our live scan, using our data master breathalyzer for drunk drivers, using our mugshot module. That's part and parcel of the contracts.
Okay, that was just my question. Thank you for the information.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Right, Public Safety Director Moore, just on an unrelated, well, I've got you on here. Can we get a report of how our new dedicated road officer is done? He's been on the road now for a while. Can we get a report on number of tickets and number of warnings he's given, and like we were getting with the old one?
I'd be happy to do that, Mayor. Would you like that at the end of this council meeting or at the next council meeting?
Next council meeting is fine.
You got it.
All right, thanks. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I've got a motion and a second to approve the recommendation to utilize the Oakland County Cooperative Purchasing Program bid process and authorize the purchase of a TP 5300 live scan fingerprinting appliance from IDEMA Identity and Security USA LLC of Anaheim, California for $13,717 and live scan cost sharing account from live scan cost sharing account number 411-301-971.370. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Behrman,
Yes.
Councilmember Gotchel,
Yes.
Councilmember Grunland Fox,
Yes.
Councilmember Sharp,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Mayor Beagle,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Aye.
7 yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. New business number 4 is a request for approval of the 2021 calendar year proposed operating budget for the Commerce, Walled Lake, and Wixom Trailway Management Council. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. City Manager? Let's see.
So this was the proposed operating budget that was approved by the Commerce, Walled Lake, and Wixom Trailway Council, which it is still called that in spite of Walled Lake's actual withdrawal from the council until we do a new interlocal agreement that reflects that change or any other changes we see fit to make. So that's something that's in the pipeline. Until that's accomplished, we continue to refer to it as the old name. The budget before you reflects total revenue of $387,000, and it reflects total expenses of $356,200. There's a beginning surplus that was carried forward from the prior budget year of $69,000, which, just for point of comparison's sake, it was originally estimated to be down to $40,550 when you approved the budget last year. So we did a little bit better than we expected in terms of having a remaining surplus. And after all of the activity of the year, it's projected to decrease from the beginning of the year at $69,000 to just under $31,000 at the end of the year. There's a couple of typical expenses in there for administrative expenses for the trail manager, as well as insurance and things of that nature. The other thing that's reflected in there is the phase 2 design engineering costs of $300,000, which did not make it into last year's budget as we potentially budgeted for, but are not expected to be expended this year, as that process is already initiated with the Trailway Council for that phase 2 design engineering. So that's the only two things that I was going to, or only the few things that I was going to highlight on the budget. If there's any questions from anybody, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Councilmember Grenlin Fox?
Thank you, Mayor. Steve, with Walled Lake not participating now, does that increase the cost for us as well as Commerce Township then on the maintenance and other expenses to make up
Yeah,
for that Walled Lake piece?
Yeah, that's going to be something that will be interesting here to determine how that's going to play out. I think that's something that'll get fleshed out a little bit more in the interlocal agreement when we get to finalizing that. So there'll be some interesting things to determine how we're going to handle maintenance in that, especially on the Walled Lake portion of the trail.
Okay, so nothing finalized at this point.
Correct.
Thank you.
I would be making it up at this point. There's some information we need to come to a consensus on and go forward with. So.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Deputy Mayor Resnick?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Brown, I understand the Ralph Wilson Foundation revenue piece of it. The billboard, do we generate revenue? The Trailway Council, meaning, do they actually own a billboard that gets rented out?
Correct, and it's got the existing budget or the proposed budget has some monies in there for 2021 of $18,000 as an estimate of what we're going to realize from there. We do have an agreement in place for revenue capture on that front, and the idea is that we're going to use it for offsetting maintenance costs, which is likely, going to be part of our incoming revenue to handle expenses.
So it actually, the Trailway Council owns the billboard, or?
Correct. That's the way that it's being reflected. We are going to realize the revenue from that billboard. Yes.
Interesting. Probably off of M5, my guess, or?
Yes.
Okay. Second question, has there been any progress in setting up the endowment fund or the 501c3 for ongoing maintenance? I know there was some talk about it a couple of years ago.
I don't have an update on that. I can ask Mr. Hensler, our trail manager, if he's got any additional progress on that front. I really, it's not been something we've discussed recently, so I should ask Mr. Hensler about what the status is on that. I'll report to you next time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I got a motion and a second to approve the request for the approval of the 2021 calendar year proposed operating budget for the Commerce, Walled Lake, and Wixom Trailway Management Council. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Getchell,
Yes.
Councilmember Grenlin Fox,
Yes.
Councilmember Sharp,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Aye.
Mayor Beagle,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Aye.
Councilmember Behrman,
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
New business number 5 is a recommendation to convene in a closed session of the City Council in accordance with the Michigan Open Meetings Act after council comments to consider the purchase or lease of real property and periodic personnel evaluations of the city clerk and city manager. Do you have a motion?
Move to approve.
Support.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Grenlin Fox,
Yes.
Councilmember Sharp,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Mayor Beagle,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Resnick,
Aye.
Councilmember Behrman,
Yes.
Councilmember Getchell,
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you. And we'll move on to that concludes all the new business for tonight. We'll move on to the second call to the public. The rules to the second call to the public are the same as the first, only you can talk about anything that's on your mind. And again, if you're on the phone, please utilize the *9. That'll raise your hand and we will call on you. Do we have anybody in the audience for the second call to the public tonight?
No one has raised their hand yet. Let's give it a moment. A reminder, press *9 on your phone to raise your hand. Press *9. No one has raised their hand at this point.
Close the second call to the public then and move on to city manager's comments.
Your Honor, from the city manager's updates, I did have a couple of things that I brought to your attention, one of which is sadly moving back to appointment-only business for city operations, given the latest guidelines and restrictions that were issued by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services related to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. We've gone back to our prior MO, slightly refined, hopefully improved to handle people on an appointment basis. And to the extent that people come up to City Hall, they're not aware that we're on an appointment-only basis. If we have the ability to handle that as a walk-up appointment, we will. We've been having a fairly steady amount of business still running through City Hall. It's not what it was prior to this change to the appointment-only MO, but it is something where we're fortunate to be able to conduct business and continue to transact with folks, the business that they have to do with the city. And then the last thing is the work anniversaries. We've got 3 employees celebrating their anniversaries with the city, ranging in years from 4 to 19 years of service. So congratulations and thank you to those employees for their years of service to the city.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, move on to council comments. Councilmember Grumman Fox.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to thank all of those employees celebrating work anniversaries. And I would also like to wish everyone here tonight and all of our residents a happy Thanksgiving. And stay safe.
Thank you. Councilmember Berman.
I just wanted to comment on the Christmas trees or the trees downtown on Wixom Road. They look really nice, lit up this year in alternating white and red colors. The only question I really had was moving forward, if we're going to be moving forward with the tree lighting ceremony or it's going to be being canceled. I know the signs are still out. As much as I'd like us to have it, I kind of feel like it might be a prudent decision for us not to have it, but I haven't heard a final answer on that yet.
So I don't know that Deanna's on the line, so to speak, because she was going to be off today. I didn't check. But the decision was made to postpone it till December 11th on the off chance that there would be a possibility of still having it if it's appropriate with the current status on the state of affairs with the pandemic. So we've left that possibility open just because we want to leave that possibility open in case that does become something that we can continue with. The current orders from MDHHS expire on December 4th. I'm sorry, on December 8th. And the event's been postponed to December 11th. So we're hoping that closer to the time period of the expiration of the orders, we'll have an indication or a good handle on whether it looks like they're going to be extended. And we'd have to make a decision at that point in time whether we're going to try to proceed or if we're going to cancel formally.
And if we cancel it, we'll just turn the lights on and be done with it?
Yeah, interestingly, we talked about that today at the DDA meeting, and I'm going to try to touch base with Deanna about that. She's actually got the week off, so I'm trying to let that go for now, but we're going to touch base early next week and talk about if we're going to turn that on at some point in time prior to the 11th. Obviously, it's getting a little late in the game on the 11th. So we'll go ahead and have that discussion, probably do the actual lighting of the tree early and do a ceremonial relighting if it's possible on December 11th.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
Sure.
Very good. Councilmember Gotcho.
Thank you. Just wanted to share my Thanksgiving wishes with everyone as well. Other than that, I have no comments.
Okay, very good. Councilmember Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing further other than the Thanksgiving wishes out to the city and city staff and all of you all. Hope you have. I'm already up north, as you can tell by my non-city council wear. My apologies, I forgot to bring a jacket. But anyway, have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Smiley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was going to ask City Manager Brown as well about the tree lighting. And I agree with everything, you know, the precautions were taken. And I do also appreciate that we're trying, you know, bump it a week, whatever it takes. Maybe we can squeeze it in. I do like that we're trying. We did that all summer long with a lot of our events. And hey, you know, hope is important to people. So maybe we get to do it, maybe we don't, but we'll all get through this. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving.
Deputy Mayor Resnick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just also want to give Tim one more thank you for the final sweep on the leaf pickup. City looks great. The piles are gone. Looks really good. Probably the best in years. I think a great. Thanks again to the DDA, the Downtown Dazzle. It just looks so nice. I was just so happy when I saw that driving north on Wixom Road the first time, and I saw those I call them the entrance trees all lit up.
Yep.
And then yesterday I saw Country Corners. I saw Jagan came in. I saw Wixom Station. A number of them now have put up their lights. It does look nice. And just a reminder for everyone as well. Mantra from MEDC as well as the Oakland County this year is to support local. They're entering a very, very difficult period again, particularly restaurants not being able to do dine-in. So get out there and get a takeout, maybe not for Thanksgiving, but maybe the day after. So everybody have a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Yep, I got a couple things here. Just congratulate and thank you to the 3 employees celebrating their work anniversaries. With the tree lighting ceremony, I think everybody wants a little spark of hope or something, and I think if we can postpone and wait and see how this happens, I mean, I think that would bring some nice joy to the city. If we could do this tree lighting ceremony. I mean, people need something right now where everyone's down. It's Thanksgiving and we can't spend time with our families, and just something small, if it's a small thing to pick the people up. And if we can do it safely, why not? And with that too, I think Public Safety Director Moore, correct me, I think we have till Monday for the stuffed SWAT car. It's out in front of City Hall. Don't forget to stop by, put some toys in it. It's for the Crime Stoppers. It's a great organization. And let's fill that trailer up. We got till Monday.
Thank you, Mayor.
And you're welcome. And then other than that, I guess let's adjourn to the closed session.
Do you need a vote to go into the closed session?
We already voted on it.
Okay, all right. I'll open the breakout room right now.
Who got there first, Keenan or Steve? Rob, did you catch that?
I didn't catch that. No, sorry.
I got there first.
Okay, that's, and then I
I
think I
think
was.
Keenan got me by a note.
I had time for a bathroom break while we were still waiting on all of you.
So you beat me substantially then. All right, okay.
Yikes. All right, I need a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved?
Support.
Support?
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? All right, now I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Support?
Got a motion and a support. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Very good. Thanks, guys, for a great meeting tonight. Everybody have a great and happy, safe Thanksgiving. And like I said, and Tom and T, if you could give me some dates in December where we could meet, let's get that ball rolling.
All right.
Sure.
Thanks,
Happy
guys.
Thanksgiving,
go.
everyone.
Rob,
That's
thank you.
great,
Yeah.
Peter.
Happy
Thank you,
Thanksgiving,
everyone.
folks.